What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we have got a long ball tactic. That is right, none of this gegenpress malarkey. This is going to be pure long ball, and hopefully you guys do enjoy, because I've seen you guys wanting to switch up the tactics, something a little bit different, and this one is as direct as it ever gets. If you do enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and once again, do turn on that notification bell. It is completely free, and you will never miss another upload. So now, when you think of long ball, I personally go to Sean Dyche, and then I go to Everton. I link 1 and 2 together, and we end up at Everton, and I will say, we enjoyed a great season. I will say it's not perfect though, because runners-up, although it's very good to get to the final, we should be beating Brentford, but unfortunately it goes to penalties and we bottle it. I mean, it's an absolute disappointment. The Man City sort of situation I'm not too annoyed about. I will say as well, it is a bit of a defeat 4-2, but then it is Man City. I can't really be too annoyed. What I am buzzing about is a Premier League win, and 2 of our players outscoring everyone. Now, I will say, defensively, we were not the best, and that's one thing you will learn about this tactic. We're definitely more heavy-footed in terms of going forward than known for its defensive stability, but you still are able to win big leagues with weaker teams, as I'm showing you right now. If we go and actually have a look right now at what we've done, as you can see, we outscored everyone. Conceded, we're down in 5th, and the clean sheets, we're also going to be joint 5th with Liverpool and Man City. So you don't always need to be rank 1 in clean sheets and fewest conceded to win league titles. And when you're getting the ball and pinging it long, you're not going to have much possession either, which would explain this. So this is a much different style of tactic that I think has been needed for the channel for a long time. Now, going over to the data hub, we can see 3.32 goals per game, just over a goal conceded, which, to be fair, isn't too bad because we are Everton as well. So we have got to take that into account, a relegation team, and we're only conceding 0.5 over, and obviously we're scoring over treble, compared to what we are conceding. So we are never really going to be in any sort of situation there. Now, the pass completion will never be above this, really, because at the end of the day, we get the ball and we ping it. It's long ball football. Now, this is something which you have to like. If you don't like long ball football, you like possession, probably not the one for you, mate. I'll be honest with you, but people were requesting it, and I thought, do you know what? Let's switch it up. And so far, I mean, I'm not going to complain. We've got 2 more tests to do. This is not the best team in the video, and we've already done well. An example of how this tactic should play, this is against Man City. Now, you'll notice that, again, how direct the balls are right into the box. We're not afraid to play that approach at all. Of course, if you get my set pieces, if you got mine, then make sure you got that on, because they'll absolutely guarantee you some goals. Now, with Man City, they are always going to score a goal, but I didn't care if we conceded, because we go out and score another one. And you know what? This one wasn't as direct. It was a little bit of link-up play through the midfield, but I'm going to include this in the video because you can see the players they've got. They have got world-class players. We don't, so they are going to have a lot more possession. They had 73% of the possession, but look at who won the game. That's all that matters. Another team I think of with a bit of long ball, a bit of dirty football, is going to be Stoke City. Obviously over in the Sky Bet Championship. Now, both of the cups weren't too pretty. We actually knocked ourselves out with one, being the Carabao Cup. But the Sky Bet Championship, it wasn't a flawless season. I mean, we drew 6 and did lose 8 games. We get the job done over Bristol, Norwich, Leeds, you know, them sort of teams. And it is going to be Gallagher coming in with 35 goals. And defensively, we were actually a fair bit more solid. You can see here, we're going to be in P3. So quite a good result there. And the clean sheets also 3rd. So maybe it's because it's a bit of an easier league. Maybe we've got a bit of a better defence in terms of for the league quality. But overall, still the same pattern emerges. Around 3rd to 5th is what you can expect on a consistent level. Goal scoring wise, we're outscoring everyone as you'd expect, and of course we'll have more shots than anybody in the league. Possession again is going to be no bueno at all because we're pinging the ball long. I will keep stressing that because I can already sense a comment. I had under 50% possession, what's going on? It's a long ball tactic. The data hub, over 2 goals a game, just over 1, again, very similar actually, 1.04, so this is actually so far quite an accurate average, but do take into account we've tested with 2 very weak teams. You play long ball with Madrid, for example, which by the way was a lot funner than what I thought, because when you've got the ball and you can ping in behind Vinicius, Rodrigo, Mbappe, all these players, you're going to have a field day. And as you can see, we win the perfect 5 out of 5. The Super Cup, we're going to win 5-1 over Bilbao. The Spanish Cup, 2-0 over Celta Vigo. The Super Cup, 5-1 over Atalanta, and 5-0 over Man City in the Champions League. And the league, we go invincible. 37 wins, 1 draw, and look at the stat lines. I mean, all of our players are dominating. The only one we don't get, because it's joint first, is with Valencia. Marjashvili, the new Liverpool keeper, keeps up with Thibaut Courtois. But other than that, we dominate literally every stat line. Now, even with something like this, Real Madrid, you're not going to have possession. That's something you've really got to drill into your head. You are going to have nearly 200 goals in the league alone. A load of shots, the fewest conceded we're going to take. The clean sheets, joint with Valencia. But overall, this is what happens when you play with a really strong team. Over 5 goals a game, under a goal conceded. And I did want to put it in the video because I've tested with Everton, a very weak team, Stoke City, a very weak team. So those of you that do play as a stronger team, this is what you're going to get. But also, if you are playing as Everton, don't worry. And I mean, really, is there any other game you could watch apart from this Champions League final? I mean, looking at that, to be fair, that's not long ball at all. That's fluent play through the middle, which is something which we rarely see with this tactic. A good press being activated there, and I will question Edison there because the ball was moving pretty slowly. But this is the side of the tactic which, you know, a lot of people aren't going to see too often because the take-ons, the individual quality. Now, if you are playing as an Everton, you're not going to have Mbappe running in behind, are you? But these goals here are actually quite well constructed, looking like a bit of a pep tactic, to be honest. A lot of short passing, there we go, that's a bit more direct, that's more like it. Now, of course, over to your favourite part of the video. If you are enjoying back home, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and if you do enjoy rebuilds, you must come over to the second channel, Daily Josh, in the link below, because we are going to have a load of rebuilds coming out. We already are doing once every 2 to 3 days, and let me know what team you want a rebuild done with long ball. I can already see the Stoke City comments, but make sure you go on over and say hello. But to load this tactic in, all you want to do, of course, is select route 1, and you best know we're going to be loading in that 4-4-2. First change you want to do is instantly go to mentality and change it to positive. The shape we play, we need that positive mentality. Anything less to start the games with is a little bit ropey, to be honest. The second big change is to drag these two down, because we are actually going to be playing a bit of a deeper 4-4-2, because, you know, you want to be somewhat defensive stability-wise, and that's how you play football. Now, this tactic is going to be something like you have never seen before because of some of the player roles and mainly one pairing in the pitch, which I guarantee you've probably never seen anyone do before, and it does work really, really well. So let's go over and talk through the goalkeeper first, who is going to be simply a default goalkeeper, nice and simple, nothing really special. The fullback on the right is going to be on support, but of course is going to have some key instructions. Those are going to be consistent of multiple ones. So let's talk it through. We are going to go with take more passing risks, cross more often, also run wide with the ball, get further forwards, and also set to stay wider. Now, the fullbacks in this system, we are going to play 2. A little spoiler alert. They are absolutely crucial because occasionally they are going to get forward and, you know, have a lot of say when it comes to getting the goals we do get. And a lot of people look at a 4-4-2 and think it's so negative, it's so boring. This one really isn't. Trust me, this one scores a ton of goals. And when you got Beto and Calvert-Lewin outscoring, you know, the likes of Haaland, you know you're doing something right. And that is why on the left-hand side, although on this side, it's going to be on automatic, we are going to go over and add a few more player roles. So player instructions, take more risks, cross more often, run wide, stay wider, and also get further forward. So both of the fullbacks are going to be very, very attacking. If you are playing in a team with very weak fullbacks and they can't get up the pitch, then I would recommend just having them as a nice support role with no real added instructions, and that would be nice and fine, should I say. Going over to both of the centre backs, we are going to opt for 2 central defenders who are simply going to be on the default. Can I say simply enough? I can't. That is going to complete the back line. Now, this actually defended very well for me, to be honest with you, because these 2 deeper players here are going to help come and defend. They are going to help sort of track back, win the ball back, and then supply the front 4. Now, this is the partnership I'm talking about because we are going to opt for 2 deep line playmakers. And funny enough, both of them are actually going to be on support. Now, I've never seen anybody use that in a tactic, probably because I've not seen a tactic designed purely to just pump the ball long all the time. But these are the perfect player roles, and having 2 of them works so well. And you don't need any of them to be on defend either. At this point in the video, I would like to quickly say, if you are interested in joining the Patreon, you can get all of these wonderful perks down your side of the screen now, including access to all 3 of the tactics today. You get them on console, you get them on mobile, you also get one-on-one tactical help, all of my rebuild files, and not just this tactic, you get all of my tactics from this year, and currently there's 20% off. A little Christmas sale for you boys and girls. If you want to go over and check it out, today is the day. It is the right time, the discount's applied, and I think, I'm checking the date, you've still got time to enter this month's giveaway, which is £500, so make sure you go on over and get a little late entry in there, because that could be a nice little Christmas present. But let's go over and go through the wingers. We are going to go with 2, and both of them are going to be set to attack. Now on the left hand side, again, we're keeping it pretty simple, but it is simple, a 4-4-2. We've got to accept it. he's going to be set to run wide and also get them crosses aimed at the centre. And on the right hand side, we are also going to go with aim at the centre and of course run wide with the ball. And that is going to be a nice sort of wide area of playing. We've got the fullbacks providing width and the wingers and essentially feeding the front two. Now, for the front two, it would feel a little bit criminal to not have a target forward in the long ball tactic, and he is simply going to be told to hold up the ball, which you can see here, hold up the ball and also hold the position. So essentially be a statue and get the flick-ons. And next to him, we are going to go with a default advanced forward who is simply going to have no custom instructions. So nice and basic. Now, team instructions, again, a little bit to talk about. We are going to opt for mixed crosses and of course pass into the space. Now, for me, I actually kept this blank because I didn't want to have a guaranteed focus going down the left and the right. I didn't really want overlap, and to be honest, we are not playing out from the back. So, for the first time in a long time, this is remaining untouched. We are going to run up the defence, however, and the tempo does remain in the middle, but the passing is going to go all the way up. So you can see right now, it then becomes impossible to work the ball into the box because you're going so direct. In transition, we are going to regroup and then counter, and when you counter, you are going to have not only the wingers, not only the front two, but the fullbacks are going to push up and get involved, which is why you score so many goals. And obviously, we're going to take long goal kicks and hit the target forward. Why on earth wouldn't we? While distributing quickly. Lastly, out of possession, we are going to go with that standard line with the high press line of engagement. We're going to leave this bang on in the middle, stay on feet, and also drop off more. And that's going to complete for you the default version, now to the attacking version. You might be thinking, why would I need an attacking version? Well, sometimes you do. You need to get back into a game, you're a goal down, maybe even 2 goals down, or you might be playing a very small team and you simply want to pump a team. And this is exactly what is going to do that. And trust me, it works like an absolute treat. Now, the first change is the mentality. It's going to go all the way up to attacking, and of course the player roles are going to change as well. The ones that don't are both for the central defenders and the goalkeeper. The fullback on the right and on the left are both now on attack, on take more risks, run wide, and also stay wider. Both of the DLPs do remain the same, both of the wingers also remain the same. The target forward remains the same but goes to attack, and the advanced forward also does remain unchanged. So very minimal changes in that regard, but the team instructions, there are some changes. What doesn't change is the mixed crosses. We're still going to pass into the space, we're still going to look to be more expressive and run at defence. The tempo goes up by 1, just a little bit, never hurt anybody, and the passing, well, the passing is not going to change. It is literally the DNA of this tactic. Now, because this is an attacking tactic and there's more urgency, we're not going to regroup and be negative. We're going to counter press and really hit the ground running and still counter and still distribute quickly with all of this good stuff. But just having that regroup to counter press really changes how your team plays. They go from being a bit passive to really getting stuck in, and it's actually quite a good idea to switch to this mid-game even at a 0-0, because you completely change the way you play and it catches the opposition off guard almost every time. Now, in terms of the lines, I'm keeping it pretty basic, exactly the same. This can go up by 1, stay on feet, and also drop off more. So I've got you covered now for an attacking version, and you know there's a defensive one. Let's go to it. For the defensive one, I will be honest, there's not really a world where you need to go into a game with this. You go into the games with the default one, then you switch between the two. So this is perfect to defend a game out with, and it will get the job done, and I'll explain why. You can probably see already why, but I will explain it a little bit as well. Now, it's very important the mentality stays on positive, because I'm a big advocate of when you're playing a defensive tactic, you still should want to go and get goals, and therefore we're not going to go any lower than positive. Now, the goalkeeper and both of the central defenders do remain the same. The fullback on the right and on the left also remain exactly the same in terms of player roles as they were in the default, but now simply stripped of any instruction, nice and basic. 2 DLPs, both on defend now, both on that tackle harder. Then 2 defensive wingers, who, by the way, will still put balls in the box, but are going to be a lot more defensively minded and come back and form a back 8. So nice and simple. Target forward goes back to the default, and the advanced forward also does remain unchanged. Now, when it comes to in possession, again, we are going to keep it quite basic, so pass into space does keep it nice and simple, as we were playing. The tempo, however, goes down by 1 to slightly lower. Much more direct is still going to be applied, and we are now going to play for set pieces. And I will say, make sure you go on over and get them, because the amount of goals I scored with Teston through them is an absolute joke. Trust me, it's almost like a cheat code. You want to go and get them. Now in transition, we are going to go back to the regroup, back to the counter, and this time we are going to slow the pace down, because of course we are trying to, well, slow the game out, so it makes complete sense, and that bit does remain exactly the same. And lastly, out of possession, the lines are going to remain the same, because I wanted to keep it quite balanced, not really too, you know, definitely not a higher line or a lower line, just nice and simple, nice flat standard line. We are still going to drop off more, and we are going to stay on our feet and just be a very annoying team to break down. And when we've got the ball, we're sending that boy long. And that's going to give you 3 variants of the long ball season: a default, an attacking, and also a defensive version. Hopefully you have enjoyed today's video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Once again, make sure you are going over to that second channel, because we've got rebuilds coming out for the rest of this FM, and next year I've got some crazy ideas for rebuilds that I guarantee you are going to enjoy. So I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day.